Welcome to What a Waste podcast.
Hello. I didn't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How'd you get here?
I drove. I bought a hybrid used car from a friend.
What kind of hybrid?
A Honda.
So you never took any of those cars I sent you seriously? Those classic American muscle
no,
cars?
I didn't take the F450s that you were sending to me.
I did send you one or two big trucks.
No, I bought a used car from a stand-up comedian who moved to New York, which means that in 2019 he punched the steering wheel, and ever since then, when it would turn left or right, it would honk.
I'm turning here.
And so he had it disconnected. So when I bought it from him, I knew all of this. He was very transparent about it, but I was like, I'll deal with that. So I had my family's mechanic reconnect it, and it would occasionally, every once in a while, honk when it turned, but I was like, I'll deal with this later. I feel better having a horn. So that's fine for about a week. And then I parked it 3 blocks from my apartment, and on a Tuesday night, because I couldn't find any other parking, I'm not home for like basically 24 hours. Wednesday night, I'm going to see The Brutalist, and I'm 3 blocks down from the car, and I hear a blaring horn.
Is it the car?
Well, I was like, there's no way. That's the car. I walked towards it. It's like, eh. It's the car. There's a cop next to it. The car is covered in notes that say, like, everyone in the neighborhood knows your car now. Congratulations on your long battery life. This has been going off for 8+ hours. It had been going off all...
You have to move.
Another one was like, disconnect your battery. The cops just felt bad for me. I was like, I don't know. I wasn't going to tell them that, obviously.
Ooh, a positive interaction with a police officer?
I had a really positive... They actually really let me off because of my white privilege.
You're a Republican
and
now.
there was a ticket on the car, but people have been calling...
Ticket?
Yeah.
For how much?
But I think it's not showing up in the system. I think they gave me a fake ticket because people...
No, they wouldn't give you a fake ticket.
Well, I don't know. It's not showing up in the system. So then I drive away because I have to go to The Brutalist. And it stops honking for when I drive away. But they're like, you need to disconnect the horn. So then our friend John Walter Stockwell teaches me how to unplug and replug in the battery.
So you start the car, you plug it back in so you can...
But so now every time I'm starting the car, I'm getting out of my car, opening up
This is a Mr. Magoo-ass problem to have. This is one of the most cartoonish problems.
Every time I use the car, I have to get out both ways and unplug the battery, open the hood.
The more I get to know you, the more I realize that you got a whole Wile E. Coyote thing going on.
Well, so it keeps going. So I'm like, I'll take it on Friday. This is working out well for me. I'll just do this thing for a few more days. And then on a Thursday night, I go to an event in Logan Square. It's like an hour. I go back to the car. I try to plug it back in. Blaring horn. It's like, eh! And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. So I leave it in Logan Square. But obviously I unplugged. And I'm so stressed out for like 24 hours. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to get this to a mechanic at this point. Like and I call the mechanic and they're like, you just need to get it to us. And I was like, I'm not going to call to get it towed. So on Friday, I'm just like, fuck it. So I go to Logan Square. I plug it.
The whole time? So you're the whole time you're driving, it's honking the whole time you're driving?
I'm literally driving down Fullerton like, not like, like straight up. Imagine you're like walking down Fullerton and you just see a car fucking blasting off. And then I'm so stressed. I stop in the middle of the street. I drive like that for about 5 minutes and then I stop. I turn it off, turn it back on. It stops, but it does keep honking anytime I turn. Which is even worse.
We take a lot of turns in Chicago. Yeah. We're not.
Literally, I get on the highway.
Maze-like city.
I literally get on the highway. It's like, and which is so much worse because at least if you see a car that's full blast honking, you're like, something's wrong with that car. If you just see someone,
or they're having a mental breakdown. If I saw a car, I'd be like, that person's having the worst day of their life.
No, now I'm just aggressively honking at everyone. I finally, the mechanic stays open late for me. He's a grizzled old man on the phone who's very annoyed at me at this point because I keep calling but then not picking up when they call me back because I have a very busy life. And I pull in, honk, and then park it. And then I walk inside. I swear to God, I go, hey, I'm the one with the honk. And he goes, I don't hear a honk. And I was like, give me a break.
Was he trying to be? Was that levity? Was
No,
that an attempt at levity?
No, he was like, I don't hear a honk. He thought I was gonna come in like full honk blaring, and that's what he was expecting. He goes, I don't hear a honk, acting like he's gaslighting.
God.
He's acting like it's not a big
gaslighting
deal.
you.
Yeah.
So the cops were nice.
The cops are so nice.
The cops are like, this is.
I think we
terrible
need to give
situation.
more funding to the Chicago Public
Defund the
Police.
Get out of here.
No, absolutely.
Refund them.
No, the cops only in this situation were nice.
Okay.
Well, I think because it was such a clownish situation.
It's a very clownish situation.
And they could tell I was humiliated. I was picking up notes covering the car that were like, fuck you, we want you dead. Not actually. But the thing is, like, I mean, I changed lives that day in a negative way. Like, there are people who probably were
moved out of the city.
There's
someone who's moving into Nashville in a couple of weeks. And like, what happened? Like, a horn honk for 8 straight hours.
They're like, fuck urban living. Like, there were people working from home on Wood Street who like were maybe on the fence about living in Chicago.
Probably some grandmother who was at assisted
who
living.
died.
Yeah, that's the last thing she dealt with. She had 8 hours left on this earth, and it was just covered in honking.
That was her going into the light. She was like, I thought they said it was going to be a light, but it's a honk.
Oh, no.
So that's the, pros and cons of buying used things. But ultimately, I made the sustainable decision and bought a used car.
For weeks, I sent Lucia cars for sale.
Yeah, you have been part of my car buying journey.
Yeah, for weeks, I would send her classic American muscle cars. 79 Mustangs, classic Italian sports cars. I sent you a really good Porsche that was only $8,000 that we could have gone halvesies on, and we could have shared a Porsche.
Yeah, we could have split it between Wicker Park and Uptown. That would have.
Well, you would have gotten it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would have gotten it.
Great split custody of a car I didn't want. What is this? My parents' marriage?
I would just love just the image of
Wait,
you.
you didn't hear that?
What?
I said, what is this? My parents' marriage?
Oh, fuck. He listens to this. Your dad's going to listen to this.
No, my mom listens to this.
Oh, God.
No, my dad's a great supporter of my work from afar.
I just think the optics of you stepping out of Laugh Factory after doing a whole set about, being who you are and then getting into a Porsche is hilarious.
That is fun. But I bought it used.
Yeah.
So we're back. What a Waste is back. We got Sohrab.
I did something today. Since you ruined everything for me, I was at the sweat lodge today, and I would have been like, I remember thinking Lucia would have hated the use of water.
No, I've been sauning like crazy recently.
Oh, really?
I've been sauning and steam room to the point where I think I need to call my AA sponsor.
Cold plunge? You cold plunge?
No. Last year I was big cold plunging. This year I'm just in it for the heat.
Okay.
This winter's been hard.
Yeah.
I
Hard
just
winter.
need the heat. I've been doing 20 minutes in the sauna reading my book. The sauna cracks the book in half.
Oh my God.
And then I put the book down and go into the steam room.
Massage room, the last massage you got?
A few weeks ago.
Oh, I got one today.
The last massage I got was right after I dropped the car off at the mechanic.
Nice. You needed it.
I needed it.
You're just getting a massage.
They go, your shoulders are up to here.
Yeah, I was picking off threatening Post-it notes off my car for the last 30 minutes.
They go, your fingers are clenching.
Oh, God. Every time you turn left, you're going to honk.
I know.
Like if you're walking down a hallway.
Well, I feel triggered now anytime I hear a honk. I think it's
I know.
me.
I got a massage today, and the way it works at the sweat lodge I go to, they call the guy. Because you go to the front desk, and they're like, hi, I'd like a massage. And they call this like old Russian man. And they're like, hey, we got a guy. And then he shows up. And he's dressed like a strong man from like the 1930s. He's got like a thing, and he bended me up like a pretzel. You really got it.
I love that. I love a massage. Take care of yourselves, guys. It's been a really tough few weeks, and it's important.
I'm surprised. I thought you'd be like, no, it's a waste of water.
I think about that all the time. I'm very stressed about it. When I'm in the sauna, I go, this is a huge use of energy. But you know what? It's helping me.
Okay.
And there's some things we have to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
My use of the sauna is not taking down.
Yeah, so why can't we apply that to golf?
Oh my God. Because golf is, because my use of the sauna is not using thousands of acres of destroyed habitat.
All right, fine.
Oh my God. Do you see how the mood just dropped? Okay, so you're actually primed for today's.
Yeah, because the last time we talked about birds.
Yes. We are talking about bird flu. We're talking about bird flu, guys. And first of all, I just wanted to say we're in a new studio. We are on a Star Wars ship.
These are the seats from and what I'm gonna tell you next is gonna blow your mind, because there is a character on Star Trek: The Next Generation whose job on the Enterprise is empath. That's a job.
I dated him.
It's a lady. It's a buxom Greek woman. It's a beautiful buxom Greek
sexist.
woman.
But of course they couldn't make the empath a man.
It is on other ships. It's not on every ship. It's not specifically a woman. On the Enterprise, it's a woman.
We're gonna cut this.
But she's an empath. Troy.
She can feel things.
She's just. That's what they say in the show. She's not psychic, but she can just feel things. Yeah.
Which is how I identify. But I also identify as psychic.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh,
do you have dreams that come true?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
you have premonitions?
I am not psychic, but I have had dreams that then like someone
manifest themselves.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Careful.
You're a witch?
Yeah. I have a very active dream world.
Do you find yourself in the same place all the time in your dream world? I find myself in the same house and city all the time.
The only reoccurring locations I have are my childhood grade school and my high school, and sometimes my childhood home. And my best friend's family growing up.
Ooh, I'm always in the same house or the same city. I'm always either in the house or outside of the house.
And that's something we should be looking into.
Really?
Yeah. Buying those places.
Oh, okay. I would show up in my dream world and you're just going to be the new landlord of it. This sucks.
I'm going to astral project into to be your landlord.
This sucks. The hot water never works.
No, if you have a recurring place, I definitely think.
I don't want you anywhere near mine. You're gonna pull up in a fucking car that's honking. You're gonna really.
Oh, I'm not taking care of anything. But I will say, if you have a recurring location in a dream, that means something.
Well, the last time we talked, I was all jazzed about I was reading about peregrine falcons.
Yes.
And then you kind of just made me sad about birds.
And so we're gonna return to that.
But bird flu is not our fault.
Yes, it is.
How is bird flu?
Okay, so we're gonna get into that. So what's happening in Chicago right now? If you've been near Lake Michigan lately, you might have noticed something strange and disturbing. Hundreds of dead red-breasted mergansers, which are a type of duck, have been washing up on Chicago's beaches.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are still alive are behaving oddly. So, like, birds are behaving weird.
Here's what I read that and I was immediately annoyed because I know there's somebody at Fox News because they shit on Chicago so much. That there's somebody in Fox News who's like, well, even the birds aren't safe in Chicago, a Democrat-run city. It just makes us look bad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're not covering animal life.
Oh,
they don't care.
True.
So volunteers from the Chicago Bird Collision Monitors counted about 100 dead ducks just over last weekend.
Oh my God.
And officials are warning people to stay away from sick or dead birds.
Okay, here's the other. Okay, I read that too, and I immediately thought of this because I remember every article I've read about it has very much been like, stay the fuck away from these dead birds. I think between me and you, we know at least 3 people who are dumb enough to get near that bird.
Yeah.
But like, if they get near that bird and then interact with us, is it going to just be like, are we all dead now too?
No, so I think we're going to get to that. It's not, humans aren't necessarily at risk yet. It's other wildlife, pets. The humans have contracted it. So the thing is, we don't know yet. It's very early. And, but they do have recommendations for what to do. So while they don't know for sure that those birds had bird flu, it's no coincidence. They aren't just vibing on the beach. They didn't just take bad
It was a
Molly.
bird cult that.
So bird flu is H5N1. And as you might remember when we were younger, wasn't it H1N1?
It was H1N1.
So the bird flu is changing.
Yeah.
So there are different variants of the bird flu. So this one primarily affects birds, but it can also spread to mammals. And the mortality rate is 90 to 100% in birds. It's been around since the 90s, but this current outbreak
90 to 100. So if you're a bird and you catch it,
you're done.
You're done.
You're done. It started in. This outbreak started in 2020, and it's more aggressive than past ones. And what's so troubling about it is that in the previous outbreaks, it mostly affected waterfowl like ducks and geese, but this time it's spreading to hawks, owls, eagles, foxes, raccoons, and even marine mammals. Cows, it's jumped to dairy cows, which is unprecedented. It's now hit nearly 1,000 dairy herds in the United States, and some dairy and poultry workers have tested positive for H5N1.
Oh my God.
And it's not just wildlife. It's devastated poultry farms, leading to the death of over 150 million birds in the U.S. alone, and which is one reason egg prices have skyrocketed. But
So it's not Joe Biden in the transgender community.
It's not the transgender community.
I owe some people.
Which is literally
I gotta make some phone calls. I owe some people an apology.
That's probably what Fox News is saying about this. Every time I was listening to Democracy Now! This morning, and they were talking about all the completely insanely horrible things Trump is doing, and I was like, well, I don't even know how. I sort of want to watch Fox News so I can understand how they're twisting things. They're definitely not talking about this, and if they are,
no, it seems to be in the wide open media.
Yeah. I should have checked Fox News, and that's something I promised to do in the future.
Check Fox News right now.
Well, so it is connected to climate change. We don't know every single reason for this, but there are definitely a few things. So climate change is definitely making it worse. Warming temperatures are shifting bird migration patterns, which are pushing species into areas they wouldn't normally overlap, which increases the chances of the virus mutating.
About the birds on Fox News.
Oh, see. And environmental destruction also plays a role. So we keep encroaching on wildlife habitats. We're coming into closer contact with infected animals.
So it's not the genesis of the disease isn't in birds; it's in humans, and then we give it to birds.
No, the genesis is in birds.
In the birds,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So it spreads.
But us encroaching on their space spreads it to more birds.
Yes, and more animals.
Gotcha.
And also the shifting patterns of the shifting migration patterns and the weather changing, causing birds to travel at different times, is then causing different birds to interact with one another.
So it's our effect on birds that makes this so deadly.
Yes, because it seems like there have always been these sorts of flus, but it's never been this bad.
So like a bird and a cow would never have been friends if it wasn't for us. But now birds and cows
except
are friends.
in a wonderful children's book somewhere, but yes.
Do you think there's situations where a bird and a cow are friends?
Isn't that like the plot of Charlotte's Web?
Yeah, but then there's a spider involved.
It's a spider and a cow. Sorry, I was confused.
I'm so glad I wasn't anywhere near the beach on that day. It's got to just be so depressing.
Yeah, it's got to be really devastating. Just a bunch of ducks.
Yeah.
And these wonderful bird collision monitors go out there.
Yeah.
They're really committed to it. So the bird flu spreads mostly through direct contact with infected birds, like through their dropping, secretion from their eyes, nose, or mouth.
Secretions from their eyes?
Mm-hmm. And waterfowl like ducks and geese. Ducks are what came up in Chicago, often carry the virus without showing symptoms, and then they shed it into water sources, which infects other birds. And they can also spread through contaminated surfaces like bird feeders, farm equipment, or clothing and shoes of people working around the infected animals. And then predators and scavengers that consume the affected birds can contract the virus. So like hawks, eagles, and mammals like foxes and raccoons are getting sick. And the risk to humans is low as of now. But we're monitoring it because we don't know. We don't know yet.
You know, I was thinking about this earlier too. If there is another like global pandemic, we're not going to shut shit down this time.
No, we're not.
They would not. They would aggressively.
And
not.
We're also not going to have a vaccine for it.
Well, because my boy.
Yeah, because RFK.
God, did you watch any of that?
No, I didn't watch any of.
He got torn. I mean, I think he got past.
I listened.
Round.
No, I think didn't they pass him today? I think
they did.
I'm pretty sure that might be fake news. Can we have?
There's one great moment where they hit him on. The senator was like, "Is it true you said Lyme disease is a military weapon?" And he goes, "I might have said that."
That's why it's like so ridiculous. Well, and I just like have too much faith in people where sometimes when I watch those hearings, I'm like, no, it seems like he is telling the truth. He wants the best. He's twisting the truth just in that moment so he'll get passed.
I watched the entire thing, and I got to say the saddest part about the whole thing is that he seemed to have a mission like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Because
he was an environmental lawyer.
Yeah. He seemed to like actually be like like a mission-oriented person about health and safety and I don't know much about they did say that he was, but one of the senators, when they were trying to make him shake, they were like, "When did you sell out?" That was like a question one of them asked him. Is they were like, "At what point did you sell out your values?"
Well, I mean, it was when his first taste of raw milk. That liquid gold. I think there's a very as a new age white woman who grew up with a new age white woman who sold
his first taste of raw unpasteurized milk. You think he just went fucking nuts?
I think something shifted, and that's when he got the brainworm. I think the brainworm is controlling his thoughts and actions. I think there's someone who has a lot of experience in the health and wellness new agey world, where there's a spectrum, and it's like there's like wellness where it's like, yeah, take care of yourself, herbs and eat right. But then the spectrum then spans to like no vaccines. And so I'm guessing maybe at some point there's certain things he says where I'm like, yeah, we do need better agricultural practices.
Yeah. Or when he said he wanted to cut out artificial sweeteners. Yeah. I was like, yeah, 100%.
They banned red dye. Like, that's a good thing.
Great job.
Yeah. But he's also against vaccines, and he's incredibly racist and says things like black people are strong enough where like they don't need.
But is that really racist because he's saying they're better than us?
No, it's racist.
I'm kidding. Clearly.
But I had to confirm that so the sound clip won't be clipped up. He's crazy, and that is one scary thing is like with these increasing public health crises, our government now. So this is one of the crazy things. So what's happening in poultry plant, I think like I have not heard much about what's actually going on with poultry plants, because 150 million birds dying in poultry is crazy. That's a huge number. So because it's very brutal and they don't want us probably to know about it. So when bird flu is detected in a poultry plant, to prevent the spread of the virus at the facility, which sometimes numbers in the millions, they all must be killed. And they do it in a process called depopulation, which is carried out with ventilation shutdown, suffocating the birds with foam or gassing them with carbon dioxide. And they're considered the fastest way to contain an outbreak, but they're super controversial because of the immense suffering that they cause. And then after depopulation, the facility undergoes extensive disinfection, and a quarantine period is enforced before new birds can be introduced. And then consumers see higher prices for poultry and eggs. Isn't that gross?
Yeah.
And horrible?
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
This is a comedy podcast, right?
Yeah, but it's been sort of funny. We talked about like the honking horn.
Birds go through it, man. Chickens really. I do a joke about how chickens are meant to be eaten because they have no soul.
Oh.
And I don't actually agree. I stopped doing the joke because I started to feel bad.
Once I went out with a guy and I was pretty over it at a certain point, but I asked him if he believes we have souls, and he went, "Do you think robots have souls?"
Well, of course not, you fucking moron. That's the point. What is that? He said that like he's fucking a philosopher. He really busted that out like he was Kant.
And he also didn't answer my question.
No, that's insane. That's an idiotic.
I think he thought he was being deep.
But he's not being deep. It doesn't even make it. His comment doesn't make any sense. If he would have said an animal, I guess he could go down that road.
I do think animals have souls.
Everything has a soul. Yeah. As a Christian, I have to firmly believe everything.
Oh yeah, you're a Christian.
As everything has a soul. But I don't know. I've thought about going vegetarian just to clear my conscience. And
my hot take is, if we're on Subway takes right now, is only women should be allowed to eat meat.
You can't publicize that opinion.
You
cannot publicize that opinion.
With a female body.
What are you
because
talking about?
if you have a period,
you're losing iron.
We're literally losing iron. We crave certain nutrients, and if you have a baby, the amount of nutrients and protein you need. Men don't need protein. Do you see some of these men? The amount of protein we don't need. Stronger men. We need men to be stronger.
You know what's going to happen?
Scarier.
You're being facetious. This is going to get clipped, and it's going to circulate on conservative podcast YouTube.
Oh God, pro-protein podcast. I'm done. I'm never doing Joe Rogan. They're never going to have me on. Every guest sits down. He offers them a plate of sausages.
Is that real?
No, but probably.
Oh.
No, I do. But I mean, everyone in general needs less protein.
This is my hot take. Fake chicken is better than real chicken. I actually think the fake chicken they have at restaurants usually is better than crispier and lighter and yeah.
Well, chicken sort of grosses me out, and this is like I've had a lot of like gross chicken recently.
I have a political opinion that is so it's fascist, but you would love it.
Okay.
I fully feel I don't necessarily love big government. As a libertarian, I don't love big government.
News to me, you're a libertarian, but I'm gonna steamroll past that.
Not really, in name only. But
no, but that will bring in an important demographic that I need to reach.
I don't believe in big government, but I feel like if the government went and just replaced chicken and beef with fake beef and chicken and didn't tell anybody,
yeah.
I don't think anybody would notice.
Impossible burgers taste like I've gotten Impossible burgers.
I think they should just do that.
Yeah, I've ordered an Impossible burger and been like, I think this is a real burger, and they're like, it's not.
They should just change it and not tell anybody.
In general, people should eat. I'm not fully vegetarian. I know everyone thinks I'm vegan. I got asked once a day if I'm vegan. I'm not. People just think I am, which is all that matters. But in general, I try to eat as little as possible. But also, like, most people should be eating mostly beans and vegetables, and
I do it for my conscience.
Yeah.
I think if you want to appeal to conservative America, I think you should appeal to their
the soul.
The soul. You
You're
should be like, you would really want to not get into heaven.
But then they'll go, oh, well, plants don't have souls.
See now let me.
We should say they're aborting.
We did it. We did it. We did it. What's your beat?
We have to slow motion that.
That did not look good.
No,
That's bad for us. Yeah. But plants have souls.
Plants have souls. I believe everything has an energy. I don't think plant has. I don't know.
People will make
eye
contact.
Elliot, you love plants. Do you think plants have souls?
Ooh, he's got to think about it.
He's got to think about it.
He's got to think about it.
Elliot, our plant guy. I do think I talk to my plants and they get happier, and I feel like they've seen me go through a lot.
I feel a vibe from plants.
I have certain plants, they've seen me go through some horrible things in my life.
People will name a goddamn Build-A-Bear. You know, people will a stuffed animal. They will give it sentience in their mind, but they won't. A plant, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's something going on.
It's a living thing.
It's a living thing.
It's a living thing. We can't even comprehend.
But when I see centipede, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you little monster.
I try to. Yeah, I mean cockroaches. We can't. We don't even have time.
We don't need them. We don't need them. That's another hot
time.
take. I think we can just do without them. I don't think they have any value to the
cockroaches. Challenge taken. I'm gonna do an episode.
Yeah, that's actually a good challenge. Prove to me that we don't need. They're my least favorite creature in the world.
Oh no, they have. I'm not a fan of cockroaches.
Is being libertarian bad? Is that a bad thing?
We'll get into that in the next episode. No, it's not a bad thing. I think libertarians have maybe affected our elections in ways that RFK was running libertarian.
Okay, I'll take that. If that's the only thing people are mad about,
I'm not anti-libertarians. I think libertarians can be very frustrating.
They're fun Republicans.
Yeah, they're Republicans.
They're Republicans.
They're on the spectrum of Republicans.
They're Republicans, but they're the Republicans that I think most liberals will.
But they're more open to bisexuality, maybe.
Because they're all bisexuals.
I think libertarians are openly bisexual Republicans.
I have no plan. I'm in the center. All my friends from Michigan are libertarians, and they all have cool houses and guns and farms and grow weed and mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah, I think most people we know probably would identify with that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done. Why should we care? It might just sound like a wildlife issue, but when ecosystems get thrown out of balance, it affects everything, and it's causing massive losses in the poultry industry, so it is an economic problem. And we also just don't know what could happen. So the CDC says the risk to the general public is low right now, but they're watching it closely.
I think they said that about COVID.
Yeah, and it is like people have caught bird flu.
Yeah.
It's not that people aren't catching it. It's
when
just
we were
rare
kids,
right
they
now.
made it seem like it was going to be the end of the world.
100%. Yeah, the avian flu. They made it seem same with remember Zika? They were like, that's coming for us.
Zika, bird flu, monkeypox.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten lucky. Monkeypox. Yeah, that was also very recent.
That
very
one
real.
scared the hell out of me. But monkey scared the hell out of me.
Well, so what should you do if you see it? Sick bird. If you're walking near the lake and see a duck acting strangely, don't just take a video of it. Don't approach it. Keep your pets leashed to make sure they don't get near dead or sick birds. And if you see 5 or more dead birds in one place, report it to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources.
Okay, I hate to find any levity in this situation, but I like how it said 5 or more. Like if I find 2 dead birds, I'm like, that's fine.
They were just
murder suicide.
Yeah, they were just. That was foul play.
Hey! Oh!
Waterfowl play!
Oh my God! Oh, foul play! Stop it!
Wow!
God
wow.
damn it! That was funny.
I wish I could bring that level of wit to the rest of my life.
Foul play. That's brilliant.
That was probably one.
Is
of the
it
best
happening
things.
in other countries or is it only in the U.S. right now?
I do not have the answer to that. I think so. No, it is. It's a global issue.
Shit.
Yeah. But in Chicago, we're seeing it very acutely. And because we are a major flyaway, we're a migration path. I don't know if right now is probably part of the migration.
How do you vaccinate every bird? You can't vaccinate.
No, well, okay, so that was one thing is they were like, one option is that could we make bird vaccines, but that just wouldn't work.
What if it's an inhalant? What if you just like
I don't think they're wild animals. They're wild. You can't tame them.
Just try selling that to RFK.
Them. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna spray something into the air for everybody to breathe, but it's for the birds.
Yeah, and it's aromatherapy. Just tell them it's lavender.
We can't talk about the fires, right? Because this doesn't.
Next time we record, we're gonna do fires.
Okay.
You were just there.
I was just there,
and I want to hear about it.
Well,
but you got to save it.
I'll save it.
You got to save it.
I'll save it.
How much time was that? That's perfect.
Yeah.
We did an amazing job.
Cool.
Overall, very upsetting. I think this is something that people only really get concerned when they are worried that it's going to affect them directly. So unless people are getting sick, I don't think people are going to care that much. It can affect your pets. So that's a
real big one.
Issue.
That's usually when people, which I find frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're worried about your cat, you should also be worried about 1,000 dead birds on Lake Michigan's.
Yes. But also, like, that's what Silent Spring, which, like, basically kicked off the environmental movement in the book, that's what it's about. Like, Silent Spring is a world in which birds don't exist and you don't hear, like, birds outside. Birds are very, very sensitive to the environment. So they're often our early indicators of when something's wrong.
Yeah, that's when I heard about the dead birds. That's the first thought I had.
Mm-hmm.
But mine was much more juvenile in that I was like, that's what happens in the movies.
Yeah, the birds are falling.
Yeah, that's usually if there's any kind of man, birds scare the hell out of me. You ever see Hitchcock's The Birds?
No.
He's ahead of his time. That movie is what if it's special. I watched that movie as soon as I read this article.
Really?
I had to.
Interesting.
Just because I think
interesting stream of actions on your part.
The final scene of it's cathartic because the final scene of the way the film is set up is so beautiful because it's happening in the background. The entire time you're watching this like guy and this girl have this whole like will they won't they thing. There's news reports in the background about the birds. There's people are reading it in the papers. Hitchcock was ahead of his time.
What's happening to the birds?
They're revolting against humanity. They're like attacking people and organizing.
It's like the orcas.
Yeah, they're like organizing and by the end of the movie, the 2 main characters are walking out of this like government building, and all these birds are just like watching them. They're not attacking them, but they're just like watching them as they slowly like leave. It's essentially telling you that the birds are taking over again. Or maybe he wasn't. Maybe Hitchcock was just going for kind of just general creepiness, and he picked birds.
Yeah,
but
we don't know what crows remember people.
Crows are terrifying.
Crows are
straight up.
When I see a crow, I go, "Great, who's dying?"
Crows are if you can look at a crow and not feel weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Edgar Allan Poe.
yeah, it's the truth that it's like proof that there's something else.
Yeah.
Beyond the veil, and I feel crows are
yes.
going in and out of the veil, man.
Ugh, the veil is often too thin.
Yes, crows.
That's why I don't celebrate Halloween. It's too thin around then.
Oh, you don't think crows have funerals?
They probably do.
Like
Isn't that part of the crow thing?
Yeah,
that they have funerals.
They'll get
they mourn the
together.
dead.
They bring trinkets for people who they like.
Yeah.
I'd love to get on that level with a crow. I would love to just build that friendship with a crow while he's bringing me spoons and shit. I can just bring him around. Could you imagine, like
you're like Cinderella, but it's just a crow.
Yeah, just one
a
crow.
crow gets you dressed every morning.
Yeah, hold up my hands.
It brings you your giant chain.
Could you imagine doing a 10-minute set at Laugh Factory with a crow on your shoulder and you don't even mention it? You don't even bring up the crow.
I go to the Jersey Shore every summer for vacation.
What the fuck?
It's my favorite place in the world.
If
you said here's a ticket to Paris, here's a ticket to the Jersey Shore, I'd go.
You're a complex woman.
I love the Jersey Shore. It's my favorite place in the world. And there are people who walk. They're the hawk people. They make like $100,000 a year.
They got the glove on.
Yeah, and they just walk up and down, and the hawk like flies at shit.
I've been into owls lately. Owls have been a big thing.
I mean, owls are very spooky. There's a reason that birds are such a big part of like lore and mysticism.
Yes.
Every time speaking of dreams, anytime I have a dream about an animal, I immediately look it up because I'll have like a dream about a random animal. I'm like, I haven't ever thought about that animal. What's that telling me?
You ever like see a raven and then you're like, I'm not leaving the house today.
So raven versus crow, what's the difference?
It's a different species, isn't it? Ravens are bigger, and they're not as common. Crows are like. Also, ravens are like actually like when they say that a crow is smart, I think people are getting confused with a raven because a raven is the intelligence of a toddler. Like a raven is the one,
which is a good thing.
I mean, it's terrifying. People want them as pets because they're beautiful, and then they get them as pets, and then you realize you're living with an angry toddler. Oh, because a toddler you can slap around, you get out, go to sleep.
Well,
right? Well, you're not supposed to. Middle East, I grew up in Iran. Where I'm from, you can slap around a toddler. You can't do it in America, or shouldn't. You shouldn't do it. But a crow will kill you. A crow will pluck out your eyes.
Pluck out your eyes.
Yeah.
They say that your cat has the brain of a 2-year-old, and that's why you should never get mad at it.
No, I'll get mad at it. It does. You do have a cat?
Yeah, and he wakes me up every morning by scratching my scalp.
Yeah, you get mad about
scratching
that.
at my face.
You know who wrote that article? A cat. A cat wrote that. You should never get mad at your cat.
Get mad at a cat. I'm so cute. Okay, well, this has been. I've had the time of my life, and we're
should
just
have
getting
a bird
started.
next time. We'll have a bird next time.
Yeah, we'll get that hawk guy.
Yeah,
it's just some of the fun ideas that we're having on this podcast. Well, thank you for joining us. I know Lena Jackson's boyfriend's back in the game. All of my sister's friends, possibly my mom. We're having a great time. Thank you for listening, and we will be back with more bird-related content.
The name Foul Play.
Foul Play. Damn.
Can we add a horn in post?
Yes. Yes. You can't imagine what I've been through.